So Rosemary and I have these great conversations about kind of current events and politics and whatnot. And I've always said we should record it and make it a podcast. So it's been about a week and a half. We did one episode and then we decided on a name.
It was well received by the 3 people who listened to it.
Right? They loved it. So one episode in and we decided on a name. It's Lightweights. And we talk about politics. So it's been a busy week and a half in the world. We've had the RNC was all last week. Not to mention, I think we can throw in a hurricane and some protests with some shootings. I mean,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
It feels like the country's kind of coming apart a little bit. But where do you want to start?
Well, I don't know. It's a lot to take. You know, last night I was up looking at Twitter after the kids went to bed. And, you know, Twitter is kind of, say what you want about it, but you can get like up to the second news because when something happens on the street, people are like tweeting it immediately, you know. Yeah,
no, it's what's happening right now.
Right now, yeah. So, you know, there were one person was killed last night in Portland. And that was hard to watch, and the devastation of, you know, protesters being shot at and the, you know, Trumpies all,
right,
you know, caravan looking like ISIS, you know, forgive me, but in a caravan with flags and...
Yeah, Portland, what the hell is going on in Portland? I mean, when did Portland become the center of anything, you know? I mean, that seems to be where all the... Why is Portland... So, yeah, what happened last night, I guess it was a Trump supporter. Would that be a fair characterization?
I'm pretty sure it was a Trump supporter that was killed.
Shot and killed.
But we don't know who shot and killed him, though. We don't know if it was another Trump supporter, if it was an accident, if it was a Black Lives Matter person, or if it was a cop. Like, we don't know anything.
And then the other thing was last week in Kenosha, Wisconsin, there were Black Lives protesters, and then there was that kid, and he shot people with his AR-15, right? Killed 2 other Black Lives protesters who were just like normal Joes, you know?
And the right is defending this.
I know.
Tucker
I saw
Carlson's
that. Their crowdfunding is defense now.
I can't stand it. It's so hurtful.
But I'm going to go out there and just say, you know, if there's a protest, maybe don't bring your guns. Guns seem like a bad idea to protest. I mean, is that stating the obvious or what?
Well, yeah. The other obvious thing is that you have a constitutional right to peacefully protest. And so when someone who claims to be patriotic takes a gun to a protest to intimidate people to stop exercising their constitutional right of protesting, doesn't that seem a little anti-American to you?
Oh.
I mean, you know...
No, but American to I think that side, to be American is to carry a gun around, you know? And I mean, it's crazy.
Sense.
I can't think of a situation.
My mood today for this is total discouragement because I feel beaten down by all of this, you know? And the only thing that I want to do, my goal with this whole podcast thing is that if someone is out there, they're feeling defeated, they're feeling discouraged and hurt, and they're watching what's happening, and they're bummed about it. I want them to know that there's someone out there that feels that way too. Oh, they're not alone.
God, we all feel that way.
I know. And I mean, yeah, I am very discouraged. That convention was, you know, it was hard for me to watch, and I tried not to watch it. And I admired Stephen Colbert said, I made a decision not to watch the Republican convention, and I feel really good about it. So I tried to get that trending on Twitter. I feel really good about it, not watching it. But you can't help but still see, because they went so far out of their way to hurt Democrats. To me, that's what that whole convention was. We're going to have the White House dolled up looking like fucking North Korea.
God. Don't get me started.
The only thing missing was a goddamn bronze statue of Donald Trump. And I'm not kidding.
Don't get me started on using the White House. Jeez.
And then the no social distancing, which is completely invalidating anything that the CDC says, anything that anyone with any common sense knows.
No, we should go back to that too, and the testing and all that. But yeah, so the Republican convention, which seemed like I don't know, their whole point was to vilify Democrats, which I want to also, make another point that we're all Americans, Democrats, Republicans. I mean, we all got to live together. The hell's going on?
Well, I mean, and that's what bugs me about this, T-shirt. I'd rather be a Russian than a Democrat. Really?
Really? I know.
Well, and that's what hurts so much is that what I was going to say about the convention is that, Donald Trump is going out of his way to hurt people. Like, that's his intention. If I feel sad by seeing what he's done, in other words, he's happy that, he owned the libs, that liberals' heads exploded when he used the White House and violated, well, presidents supposedly can't violate the Hatch Act, but everybody else around him violated the Hatch Act, okay,
right.
by using the White House and, those resources for a political rally. And yes, it does hurt. It's like a knife in our heart. And that's what he enjoys. He likes it.
He does enjoy telling people like us to go
he's
fuck
trying
off.
to break my heart.
Even Republicans. I mean, I think he gets off on Republicans, maybe even in his own administrations, are saying, hey, you know what, accepting the nomination at the White House may not be the best idea, and we don't like how it looks. And then he's like, fuck you, I'll do what I want, I'll show you what power is.
Yeah, I'll show you what power is. I have the power to literally reach into the home of every American and fuck up their lives. I can stop their kids from going to school. I can, make them fight and make them, hate their relatives on Thanksgiving.
Oh, I know.
I can cause COVID. I can basically kill their relatives.
Divider in chief, right?
Divider in chief. And you know what? I'm just now coming around to this realization that he really is as bad as everyone says. Like, there was a part in my mind for the last, few years that, maybe he's just stupid or he's kind of selfish or whatever. But when I hear that people in the White House are leaking that he enjoys that we're all upset and that our hearts are breaking, that's what hurts the most. And the thing I think that hurts the most about it is that people voted for this. People wanted this. People want me to be hurting. They want fellow Americans to be hurting.
Yeah, you're talking about his base, right?
Yeah.
His base loves it when he sticks it to everybody else. Basically sticks his finger in the eye of the Americans that don't necessarily agree with him. And I mean, I wasn't the biggest George W. Bush fan, but man, I miss W.
I know, at least W was, he even said in some speech, I want to be a uniter.
Well, he had a heart,
Yeah, he had a heart,
I was a little disappointed, actually, he didn't endorse Biden like some of the people in his administration did.
He's gone out and endorsed Susan Collins. What are you thinking?
Was she troubled by that? Or
she might have been concerned, I'm very concerned that I might not win re-election, so I was hoping you would endorse me.
One thing I've been working on myself is, I'm kind of in the Rex Tillerson school of thought, which is Trump's a moron. He's a total moron.
Yeah. But he can't be a moron and an evil genius also, though.
But I've been leaning towards the evil genius part now, and it's hard for me, as what I think is a thoughtful, relatively semi-intelligent person, to like give him any credit for anything. But
my intuition says this is all Steve Bannon shit.
Oh man,
he's like buzzing in his ear, and that's what it looks like. Bannon.
But I think Trump reflexively has this, call it a knack or a skill or a talent, to tap into these emotions in people, and it's working. I mean, his base is so fervently behind him, and they almost.
No wonder his parents sent him away to boarding school. Holy crap!
He's like a cult leader.
Yeah, and
I don't want to give him credit for that, but you know what? I'm starting to go into the evil genius category.
Well, the worst thing is that if I'm a Trump supporter and he's doing things that hurt my quote unquote enemy that I've been told is my enemy by Fox News, then that feels good. That's what scares me, is that it feels good to them. And they don't want the feeling to end. That's why they're willing to vote for the guy again. It feels good to them to watch him hurt us. And they're willing to throw, okay, this was a long time ago, that they're throwing their own interests under the bus to vote for Republicans. Okay, that happened ages ago. Now they're willing to throw our fucking country under the bus. They don't care. They don't care. And, the test is, if you're a Trump supporter and you're out there, ask yourself, if a Democrat did this, would you be okay with it? That's the test. It's easy.
Yeah, that should always go both ways. I mean, people's heads would explode if Obama basically campaigned out of the White House, which is what they're doing right now. I mean, everything he's doing, whether like he's going to Kenosha next week, and Kenosha's
that's a terrible idea.
I know where the young, and I consider that kid a victim too. I mean, he killed 2 people, but at 17, I'm comparing it to
terrorism.
myself.
You don't walk around with a damn, AR-14. How is this different from some person getting in a car and driving through a crowd? It's really not that different.
Right.
You're there to hurt people.
I made another connection too. I'm kind of chuckling, which I shouldn't, but I don't want to rip on Wisconsin too much because I love cheese, but that's...
By the way, my pen pal when I was in grade school lived in Wauwatosa.
Wauwatosa?
Which is Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, which is the city that the hospital's in that Jacob Blake is in.
Oh, wow. Shout out to
Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Hi, Margo Van Buskirk, if you're out there.
By the way, they handcuffed him in Wauwatosa. They can't handcuffed him to his hospital
even
bed.
though he's paralyzed.
He's paralyzed. What is that? Okay, so
that's just more knife in the heart, knife in the heart, knife in the heart. I spent the last 4 years, when Hillary lost, I was so devastated, and I said, I need a healing. I'm going to drink tea. I'm going to do yoga. I'm not going to watch the news. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to be spiritual. I'm going to take care of myself and my family. But you can't escape it. You cannot escape it.
There's no place to hide.
There's no place to hide.
But
I did quit smoking, though.
Yeah, my dig on Wisconsin was, these are the people that brought you the making a murderer whole situation.
Oh, that was in Wisconsin, wasn't it?
I was like, what a kangaroo, that whole state Supreme Court, and what a mess they are. Because when the sheriff came out and spoke about what had happened, I felt like I was on another planet. I mean, they're talking about that kid. Well, he was resolving disputes.
Wait a minute. Did you see that video? There was a video, and I think it was the Kenosha chief of police who said some people aren't worth saving or something. Here, look at that. That's for another day, but it's up along those lines of like, it's craziness.
Crazy shit that these people, and it makes you wonder, because this was the feeling I had in Making a Murderer, is how do these people, whether it was the prosecutor in that or the judge or the public defender, it's like, how are these people getting those jobs? Because the level of ability for those people, it seems shocking. I mean, especially when you went into their whole investigation and stuff, was a joke.
I know. The blood thing and that just
don't even get started on Making a Murder. But I'm like, if they're investigating this other thing, is that the quality of investigation they're doing out there? Or because that sheriff, I'll tell you what, did not, and I don't want to judge too much, but did not impress me with his with his handling of that situation. And
the thing of it is that there's video for everything these days.
Oh my God! Speaking of which, did you see that the sheriff said he hasn't seen the video yet?
Oh no!
Yeah.
That's the first thing they do is watch the video.
Today is Sunday.
That's bullshit, though.
They asked him yesterday. No, he's lying through his teeth.
Yeah.
He has to be. Nobody's that incompetent. And I still haven't heard.
I don't know.
I know. Going back to Making a Murder. Sorry, Wisconsin. Go Badgers.
I'm pretty sure they're not all bad.
Right. But I still haven't heard, and it's Jacob Blake, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Jacob Blake. I still haven't heard
so many people being murdered these days.
What he was, right? I don't know what was he doing that led to the whole, call it the stop or the pullover or whatever.
I'm not really sure, but I think I heard that he was trying to break it. There was a fight going on. His kids were in the car. It was one of the kids' birthdays. I know. And they were going out, I don't know, to get ice cream or do some celebratory thing. And he got out of the car. Maybe he knew a person who was fighting. I don't know, but somehow he got in. He thought he was like helping to break up the fight or whatever. He was going back